There is a pair of eyes watching your son, and this is not a metaphor to be taken lightly. You have felt it, that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach when he leaves the house, that unexplained anxiety that wakes you up at 3 in the morning. You have dismissed it as parental worry, as an overactive imagination, but deep down, your spirit knows what your mind refuses to accept. Someone is watching him. There is a presence, a specific energy directed at him, and it is closer than you think. It might be on your very street, within your community, or lurking in the digital shadows of his life. But today, the veil is being lifted. This message found you because you are the chosen guardian of his destiny, and you are the only one with the spiritual authority to intervene. What I am about to reveal to you will change the way you see your son, his struggles, and the people around him forever. We are going to uncover who is watching, why they are watching, and the silent, devastating battle your son has been fighting right under your nose. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuzazara readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment. He hasn't told you because he loves you too much to burden you, but his silence is about to speak louder than any scream. Do not let your attention wander for a single second, because the details I'm about to share are specific, they are urgent, and they are the key to unlocking the chains that have been binding him. Before we go any further, I need you to make a commitment. This is not just a video, this is a spiritual appointment. If you love your son and you are ready to stand in the gap for him, I want you to like this video right now. It is a small act, but in the spiritual realm it is a signal of agreement. It tells the universe, I am here, I am listening, and I am ready to fight for my child. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You do not want to miss the guidance that follows this revelation. We are building a fortress of prayer and wisdom here, and your family belongs inside it. Now take a deep breath. Let go of the fear and hold on to your faith. We are going into the deep waters. You have noticed the changes, haven't you? Perhaps his smile doesn't reach his eyes anymore. Maybe he spends more time in his room, the door closed, a barrier between him and the world. You ask him, how are you? And he gives you that automatic rehearsed answer, I'm fine, Mom. I'm good, Dad. But he is lying. He is not fine. He is navigating a fierce storm that you were shielded from. He is fighting a battle that leaves no physical scars, but shreds the soul. The reason he doesn't tell you is not a lack of trust. It is an abundance of protection. He sees you as his safe harbor, and he is terrified that if he brings his storm into your harbor, he will destroy the only peace he has left. He is carrying the weight of the world, and he is doing it because he thinks that is what a man, or a young man in the making, is supposed to do. But here is the chilling truth that heaven is revealing to you today. His struggle is not random. It is not just hormones or a phase or bad luck. Your son is a target. There is a spiritual principle that says the size of the battle indicates the magnitude of the destiny. The enemy does not waste ammunition on empty vessels. If your son is under attack, if he is being watched, if he is facing resistance that seems disproportionate to his age and experience, It is because he carries something dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. He carries a light, a potential, a future that terrifies the enemy. And that brings us to the Watcher. When I say someone on your street is watching him, I want you to understand this on two levels. First, the physical reality. We live in a world where envy is a currency. There are people in your proximity, neighbors, friends, peers, or even other parents who look at your son and see what they lack. They see his potential, his kindness, his gifts, and instead of celebrating him, they covet what he has. This is the spirit of Cain watching Abel. It is the spirit of Saul watching David. They watch waiting for him to stumble. They watch with a critical eye, projecting their own failures onto him. Have you ever felt a strange heaviness when a certain person asks about your son? "How is he doing?" they ask, but the tone isn't concern. It's an investigation. They are fishing for bad news. They are hoping to hear that he failed a test, lost a job, or got into trouble. This is the evil eye that many cultures speak of, and it is very real. It is a focused, negative intention that seeks to hinder his progress. But the second level is even more profound. It is the spiritual watcher. In the book of Job, we see that the enemy roams the earth, going back and forth, watching for an opportunity. Your son is being surveilled by spiritual forces that want to abort his destiny before it can be birthed. This is why he feels an unexplainable pressure. This is why he feels anxious for no reason. He is sensitive to the atmosphere, and he can feel eyes on him even when the room is empty. He is reacting to a spiritual reality that he doesn't have the vocabulary to explain. I'm going to tell you exactly how to identify this influence and how to break it. But first, we need to understand the damage this has caused. Your son has internalized this surveillance. He feels like he has to be perfect. He feels that one mistake will ruin everything. This creates a state of chronic, high-functioning anxiety. Psychologically, his cortisol levels are constantly elevated. He is in fight or flight mode even when he is sitting on the couch. This is why he might be irritable, why he might snap at you over small things. It's not disrespect, it's a nervous system that is fried. He is exhausted from holding up a shield 24 hours a day. Think about the story of Joseph in the Bible. Joseph was the beloved son, the one with the coat of many colors, the one with the dreams. But who was watching him? His own brothers. They watched him with hatred. They watched him with jealousy. And what did they do? They threw him into a pit. They stripped him of his coat, his identity, and left him in the dark. Your son feels like he is in that pit right now. He feels stripped. He feels forgotten. He looks up and sees only the walls of his circumstances. And the hardest part for you, as a parent, is that you cannot just reach in and pull him out. This is a journey he has to undergo. But, and this is the most important but you will hear today, Joseph's pit was not his grave. It was a transport system to the palace. The very thing that was meant to destroy him was the vehicle that moved him toward his destiny. The person watching your son, whether it is a jealous neighbor, a toxic friend, or a spiritual entity, thinks they are blocking him. But God is using their pressure to polish him. The adversity meant to break him is forging him into something unbreakable. You need to shift your perspective immediately. Stop seeing your son as a victim and start seeing him as a warrior in training. The heat is high because the metal is precious. Now, I want to address the watcher on the street more specifically. This could be a literal person. Is there someone who seems overly interested in his movements? Someone who always seems to be around when he comes and goes? Trust your gut. If someone gives you a bad vibe, do not override it with politeness. Your intuition is the Holy Spirit whispering to you. It is your radar. Protect your son's privacy. Stop oversharing his achievements or his struggles with people who have not earned the right to hear them. When you tell a jealous person about your son's success, you are handing them ammunition to target him with envy. When you tell them about his failures, You are giving them fuel for their gossip. Learn the power of silence. Mary, the mother of Jesus, treasured all these things and pondered them in her heart. She didn't broadcast everything. She protected the promise. You must do the same. But there is a deeper layer here. The watcher is also a symbol of judgment. Your son feels judged by the world. We live in an era of digital surveillance where every mistake can be recorded and shamed. He is growing up in a fishbowl. This constant scrutiny creates a paralyzing fear of failure. He would rather do nothing than do something and be mocked. He would rather stay silent than speak and be misunderstood. This is the root of his isolation. He is hiding to survive. So what is your role? If you cannot fix it, if you cannot fight his battles for him, what do? You must become his sanctuary. This is the solution, and it requires a radical shift in your parenting style. Most parents, when they sense something is wrong, go into detective mode. They ask questions, they pry, they offer unsolicited advice. Why don't you do this? You should try that. What's wrong with you? And every question feels like an interrogation. Every piece of advice feels like a criticism. It feels like you are joining the watchers. It feels like you are another pair of eyes looking for a flaw. Instead, you must create a space of safety. A sanctuary is a place where there is no judgment. It is a place where he can take off the armor. How do you build this? With your presence, not your words. When he is in the room, just be there. Offer him a snack, a drink, a comfortable silence. Let him know that he is loved not for what he does, not for his grades, not for his success, but simply because he exists. When he speaks, listen to understand, not to reply. Resist the urge to fix. When he shares a pain, don't say, "It will be okay." Say, "I can see that is really hard. I am here with you." Validate his struggle. When you validate him, you disarm the shame. You tell him, "You are not crazy. Your pain is real, and you don't have to carry it alone." I mentioned earlier that there is a secret to breaking the power of the one watching him. Are you ready for it? This is a spiritual technology that has been used for thousands of years. It is the power of the blessing. In the Bible, the Father's blessing determined the Son's destiny. You have the power to bless your son, but a blessing is not just a wish, it is a decree. It is a shield of light. Every morning, before he wakes up or before he leaves the house, I want you to speak a covering over him. You don't have to do it to his face if he is resistant. Do it in the spirit. Say, "I cover my son with the divine protection. I blind the eyes of envy. I silence the tongues of gossip. I declare that he is invisible to the enemy and visible to his destiny." When you speak this, you are actually altering the spiritual atmosphere around him. You are placing a "do not touch" sign on his spirit. The person on your street who watches him with ill intent will suddenly find that they cannot see him clearly anymore. They will lose interest. They will be distracted by their own issues. The spiritual attacks will bounce off because you have erected a wall of fire around him through your intercession. But be warned, as you start to do this, the resistance might flare up for a moment. The enemy does not give up territory easily. You might see your son acting out more for a few days. He might seem angrier. Do not panic. This is the toxins leaving the system. This is the fever breaking. Stand your ground. Keep loving him. Keep the sanctuary open. Your gentleness is a weapon. The Bible says, "A soft answer turns away wrath." Your softness is the shield against the world's hardness. Let's go deeper into the Joseph parallel because it holds the map for his future. Joseph was in the pit, then he was a slave in Potiphar's house, then he was a prisoner in the dungeon. It seemed like a downward spiral, but in every place, the Lord was with Joseph. Your son might seem like he is spiraling. Maybe his grades are dropping. Maybe he has lost interest in his hobbies. It looks like regression. But in the economy of God, the way up is often down. He is being stripped of his reliance on external validation so that he can find his internal strength. He is learning empathy. He is learning resilience. A man who has never suffered cannot lead. A man who has never been broken cannot heal others. Your son is being prepared for leadership, for impact, for a purpose that requires a depth of character that only comes through the fire. There is a specific danger I need to warn you about, something that often happens when parents realize their child is struggling. It is the danger of transfer of anxiety. You love him so much that you absorb his pain. You become anxious, depressed, and fearful. You look at him with worried eyes, and guess what? He sees it, and it confirms his worst fear, that he is a burden, that he is hurting you. This makes him pull away further. You cannot pour from an empty vessel, and you cannot heal him if you are drowning with him. You must tend to your own soul. You must find your own peace, independent of his state. When you are grounded, when you are calm, you become a rock he can hold on to. If you are frantic, you are just another wave in his storm. This is why I asked you to subscribe and join this community. You need support. You need to be fed so you can feed him. You need to be reminded that the story isn't over. In the comments below, I want you to type the name of your son, just his first name, or even an initial if you prefer privacy, and declare his destiny is secure. We are going to pray over every single name. There is power in agreement. When thousands of us agree that your son is protected, chains break. Do not underestimate the power of this digital gathering. It is a modern-day upper room. Now let's return to the Watcher. Sometimes the Watcher is not a person, but a system. The school system, the legal system, the medical system. Systems that label, diagnose, and limit. Maybe your son has been given a label: ADHD, depressed, defiant, slow. These labels are the eyes of the system watching him and putting him in a box. I want you to reject the limitation of the label. The label describes a symptom, not his identity. Do not let a diagnosis become his destiny. Advocate for him, yes. Get him help, yes. But never look at him and see the label. Look at him and see the child of God. See the masterpiece. When you look at him with eyes of faith, you counteract the eyes of judgment. I feel that for some of you, this message is confirming a very specific suspicion. You have seen a car parked down the street too often. You have seen a friend who smiles too much but never helps. You have felt the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Listen to me. God is not the author of fear, but he is the author of discernment. If you feel a physical threat, take practical measures. Install lights, change routines, be vigilant. But do not let fear consume you. Fear is faith in the enemy. Trust is faith in God. The person watching him has no power over him unless you grant it through fear. There is a revelation coming that will shock you. The person watching your son, the one who envies him, the one who waits for his fall, is actually an admirer in disguise. They are obsessed with him because they see the glory of God on him. Their hatred is just distorted honor. They cannot understand why he shines, so they try to extinguish it. But they cannot. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Your son's light is irritating their demons. That is a good sign. It means his light is real. I want to give you a practical strategy for the next 7 days. This is a challenge. For the next week, I want you to fast from criticism. Do not speak one negative word to your son. No nagging about the messy room. No comments about his hair or his clothes. Only speak words of life. I love you. I believe in you. I'm happy to see you. Thank you for taking out the trash. Watch what happens. You will see his shoulders drop. You will see the tension leave his face. You will see him start to emerge from the cave. You are changing the atmosphere from judgment to grace. In an atmosphere of grace, healing accelerates. And during these 7 days, I want you to pray a specific prayer. Ask God to reveal the Watcher and remove them. Pray this: Lord, expose every hidden enemy. Remove every person from my son's life who does not mean him well. Close the wrong doors and open the right ones. Surround him with friends who sharpen him, not those who dull him. Watch how his social circle changes. People will drift away. Relationships will end abruptly. Do not try to save them. Let them go. That is God answering your prayer. That is the weeding of the garden. You might be thinking, but my son is far gone. He is into drugs, or he has stopped talking to me completely, or he has moved out. Listen to me. There is no distance too great for the Spirit. The prodigal son was in a pig pen, far from home, watched by no one but the pigs. But his father was watching the road. The father's eyes were the counter-watchers. The father was watching for his return with hope, not judgment. And because the father kept the vigil of love, the son eventually came to his senses. Your love is a homing beacon. Keep the light on. Keep your heart open. He will come back. He will come to his senses. The seeds you planted in his childhood are not dead. They are dormant. They are waiting for the rain of grace. The suspense of his situation, the not knowing, the late nights, the silence, is torture for you. I know. But remember the cliffhanger of Joseph's story. He was in prison one day and the prime minister the next. God can turn things around in 24 hours. The breakthrough often comes right at the breaking point. If you feel like you are about to break, it means the breakthrough is knocking on the door. Hold on. Do not give up on him. Do not give up on God. The person on your street, the watcher, represents the world. The world watches to consume. You watch to cover. Be the cover. In ancient times, walls protected the city. You are the wall. Your prayers are the bricks. Your faith is the mortar. Build the wall high. As we approach the end of this message, I need to impart a final secret to you. It is about the transfer of authority. As your son grows, you must transfer the authority over his life from your hands to God's hands, and eventually to his own hands. You cannot protect him forever. You have to equip him, and the best equipment is the knowledge that he is chosen. Find a moment, maybe in the car, maybe via a text message if he won't talk, and tell him, I know things are hard right now, but I also know who you are. You are strong, you are capable, and you have a purpose that is bigger than this pain. Plant that seed. He might roll his eyes, he might ignore you, but the seed will go in, and it will grow. You are not alone in this. Look at the number of views on this video. Look at the likes. There are thousands of parents standing with you. We are an army of guardians. We are taking back our sons from the culture, from the depression, from the watchers. We are declaring that our sons are not for sale. They are not fodder for the enemy. They are the kings of the next generation. Before I release you to your day, I have a request. If this message resonated with your spirit, if you felt the truth of it in your bones, share this video with another parent. You don't know who is crying into their pillow at night. You don't know who is worried about the watcher on their street. Be the answer to their prayer by sending them this lifeline. And leave a comment below. Tell us your story. Tell us how you are fighting for your son. Your testimony is the key that unlocks someone else's prison. Now receive this final declaration. I decree over your home that the eyes of the enemy are blinded. I decree that every plot, every scheme, and every trap set for your son is dismantled right now. I decree that the watcher on the street loses their power and their influence. I decree that your son's mind is healed, his emotions are stabilized, and his spirit is awakened. I decree that the silence is broken not by anger, but by love. I decree that he is coming out of the pit, out of the background, and into his destiny. He is blessed when he comes in, and blessed when he goes out. No weapon formed against him shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against him in judgment you shall condemn. This is your heritage. This is your right. Walk in it. Be the sanctuary. Be the peace. And watch God work. The best is yet to come. The story is just getting interesting. The Watcher thought they were witnessing his end, but they were just witnessing his beginning. Stand tall, Guardian. Your sun is rising. And remember, the next time you feel that anxiety, the next time you feel those eyes, do not shrink back. Look right back at the spiritual realm and say, you can watch, but you cannot touch. He belongs to the Most High. Stay tuned to this channel. In the next video, I will reveal the specific signs that the breakthrough has started, signs that are often mistaken for problems. You need to know how to spot the dawn so you don't curse the light. Subscribe so you don't miss it. The battle is turning. Victory is in the air. Peace be with you and your house. The journey of parenting a chosen child is not for the faint of heart. It is a path of fire. But fire purifies, fire refines. You are being refined just as much as he is. The parent who comes out on the other side of this valley will be wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. You will have a testimony that will shake the world. So do not despise the trial. Embrace the training. Think of the Watcher one last time. Imagine them fading away. Imagine their influence evaporating like mist in the morning sun. That is what your faith does. It clears the air. It changes the reality. You are the architect of your home's atmosphere. Build it with praise. Build it with hope. Your son is safe, not because the world is safe, but because he is anchored in something higher. He is anchored in your love and in God's purpose. The storm will pass. The Watcher will leave, but the glory will remain. Go now in peace. Hug your son if he lets you. If not, hug him with your prayers. He feels it, he knows it. And one day he will thank you for it. This is your legacy. This is your love. This is the truth about your son. He is not a victim. He is a victor in the making. And you are the coach in his corner. The game is not over. It is just halftime. And we are winning. Believe it, receive it, walk in it. Until next time. Let's talk about the specific dynamics of the street again, because I want to make sure you are fully armed. When we talk about the environment, we are talking about the soil in which your son is planted. Sometimes the Watcher is a bad influence that has gained access to his inner circle. A friend who brings drama, drugs, or rebellion. This person watches your son to see if he will conform. They test his boundaries. This is peer pressure, but it is spiritual recruitment. They want to recruit him into their misery. You must pray for the severing of these soul ties. A soul tie is a spiritual connection that allows garbage to flow from one person to another. Pray, I cut every unholy soul tie between my son and named person. I declare that he is free from their influence. You don't have to forbid him from seeing them. Sometimes that makes them more attractive. But you can forbid the enemy from using them. Bind the spirit behind the person. Also consider the digital street. The internet is the new neighborhood. Who is he following? Who is following him? The algorithms are the watchers. They watch his attention and feed him more of what keeps him addicted, depressed, or angry. This is a battle for his mind. You cannot police the internet, but you can pray for his filter. Pray that he loses a taste for the toxic. Pray that he becomes bored with the things that harm him. God can change his appetite. I want you to reflect on the concept of the fatted calf. In the story of the prodigal son, the father didn't just wait, he prepared. He had the robe ready, he had the ring ready, he had the calf fattening up. He was preparing for celebration while his son was still in rebellion. This is aggressive faith. What are you preparing for? Are you preparing for his failure or his return? Start planning his success. Start talking about his future as if it is inevitable. When you graduate, when you start your business, when you get married, speak the future into the present. This overrides the doom and gloom of the Watcher. The Watcher predicts failure. You predict victory. Your voice is louder because you have authority. The watcher only has observation, you have jurisdiction. Let's address the father's role specifically, or the masculine energy in his life. If the father is present, he needs to know that his affirmation is the sword that cuts the cords of the enemy. A father's silence can be as damaging as the enemy's noise. If the father is absent, know that God becomes the father to the fatherless. You can appeal to heaven to supply the masculine mentorship he needs. Ask God to send a mentor, a coach, a teacher who sees him. God will send a divine watcher, someone who watches him to bless him, not to curse him. There is a rhythm to this restoration. It doesn't happen in a straight line. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Do not be discouraged by the step back. It is part of the dance. It is the cha-cha of healing. Keep dancing, keep moving. If you stop, he stops. You are the pacer. I feel the need to speak to the mother's heart again. The bond between mother and son is sacred. It is the first bond he ever knew. The enemy wants to sever this. He wants your son to view your care as control. He wants your son to view your love as suffocation. This is a lie. You must navigate this carefully. Shift from mothering, doing things for him, to motherhood, being a source of wisdom. Treat him like the man he is becoming, and he will rise to the occasion. If you treat him like a child, he will rebel like a child. Respect is the language men speak. Even if he is acting disrespectfully, show him respect. It shocks the system, it breaks the script. He expects you to yell, you give him calm. He expects you to lecture, you give him brevity. You are changing the game. The watcher thrives on reaction. If they can get a reaction out of you or your son, they have power. If the neighbor's judgment makes you hide, they win. If the bully's taunt makes your son fight, they win. Teach your son the power of being unbothered. The lion does not turn around when a small dog barks. Teach him he is a lion. Teach him that his worth is not on the table for debate. It was settled at the cross. It was settled before the foundation. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you. And strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuzazara readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.